Welcome, Mooresville. I'm your host, Alex Johnson.
And I'm your co-host, Will Comer, and you're watching
More News.
The girls' basketball team's postseason run ended at semi-state. Austin Marine with the story.
We just normally went through our normal practice schedule.
Well, we did not get out of practice. We took it upon ourselves to do outside of practice with the leadership of me and fellow senior Madeline Denny.
Getting closer, and that definitely helped on the court.
Going for one common goal, which was obviously to make it pretty far in the postseason run.
We had a pretty good scouting report on them and had a pretty good idea of what they like to do and then what we needed to do in order to have a good game.
Our regional championship was probably like one of my best games, but all of them were fun as a team.
We do a lot of shooting drills. Actually, this year's team, we noticed about halfway through the season that they were only shooting about 33%. Which is pretty low. So the second half of the season, we incorporated some new shooting drills, made them a little more competitive, to where the girls kind of had to beat their old score or make a number of shots in a certain amount of time. And that really improved our shooting for the season. It increased at 4% to where we finished as a team at 37%.
The Lady Pioneers finished this year's season with 19 wins and 9 losses. The team made it to semi-state and lost by 3 points at the end. The Pioneers got 9 points in the first quarter, 0 points in the second quarter, 17 points in the third quarter, and 11 points in the fourth quarter.
Second quarter. Franklin's a really good team, and we were down 3 at the end of the first quarter, and then in the second quarter we turned the ball over a little bit too much. I think we had 5 turnovers in that span, and that quarter really hurt us because we dug ourselves a hole and got down 10 points at halftime. I was really proud of the girls in the second half. We cut that deficit to 5 going into the fourth quarter, and then the girls did a good job in that quarter as well, cutting it to 3, and we actually had some opportunities and chances there, with under 20 seconds to play to tie that game up. So I was really proud of the girls with the second half effort that they put in. As far as what it takes to be a good player, it sounds really simple and easy, but you got to be able to handle the ball, pass the ball, shoot the ball, and you got to be able to defend. And there's not very many players that can do all of those things. So that's really what it takes to be a good ball player. And I would also throw in a basketball IQ. A good player has to really understand and know the game, not only what the other team wants and is trying to do, but also what we want to try and do out there.
I think we definitely played our hearts out. I feel like we were a little tired from the past 2 weeks of everything going. But I'm really proud of what we walked away with it, and I wouldn't have had it any other way.
We're definitely going to go back to semi-state. That's our big goal. I know for the sophomores at least, before our senior year, is to go back to semi-state and either make it as far as we can.
I think we played really well, and we all came out ready to play. and everyone just gave forth their best effort, and I'm just really proud of everyone.
Madeline Denny, my best friend, I look up to her a lot just because of how hard she works all the time, and she's just a great athlete all around in everything that she does.
Basketball does so much for a person individually. It builds character, it teaches teamwork, teaches relationships and how to get along with their teammates, discipline. Those are some of the things that basketball teaches. It's kind of real life experiences that they will face later.
If you missed that game, you can watch it on IHSAA TV. The girls team hopes to be back next year at semi-state to get their second semi-state win over the 20 years.
The 2022 track season has begun. Coach Stevenson provided us with an interview to look into the sport.
How does a regular track practice run?
Well, there are a lot of moving parts in track and field. So we have throwers, we have jumpers, we have vaulters, we have sprinters, distance runners. So we have coaches for each of those individualized events. So we try to branch them off. We give them in the weight room. They come into the weight room and check on the board. It tells them where they're to report. Sometimes the vaulters, jumpers, and hurdlers are all with the sprinters. Sometimes they separate when their individual coaches are going to do like technical work with them. It just depends. So it's there's a lot of moving parts. It depends on the day.
What is it like for you as the coach to prepare?
Really just, we have a plan in place, and then we really do take feedback from kids. Like, so a workout that we anticipated being a good one may have been not very good. Maybe they were really tired at the end, and we didn't get the times that we thought we were going to get, so then we adjust the next day. So although we do have a plan in place, we adjust that plan regularly. So it's really like week to week basis, even though we do plan monthly.
What are your expectations for the upcoming season?
Simple. I think winning is a byproduct of doing little things the right way, so we don't really talk about winning. We talk about controlling two things. We control our attitudes and we control our efforts. Those are both controllable things, and if our kids control those two things, then good things typically happen.
Is there anything else that you'd like to add?
Go Pioneers.
Up next, Isaac Muller has a review of the 2021 softball season and a preview of 2022.
Martinsville lost to Mooresville both times last season. Mooresville dominated with a total score of 20-7 between the two games. Mooresville also dominated Decatur Central in both games last year. Decatur was only able to score 1 point in each game against Mooresville. Mooresville was great against Perry Meridian. They outscored Perry Meridian 31-2 between the two games. Mooresville won the first game against Franklin Community 3-1. They also won the second game with the same score, 3-1. Mooresville dominated in the first game against Greenwood, 9-0. Greenwood was able to score in the second game, but could not stop Mooresville. Mooresville won 14-4. Mooresville won the first game, 4-1. In the second game, Plainfield was up 6-1, and they looked like they were going to give Mooresville the first loss of the season, but Mooresville closed out the game, scoring 6 unanswered runs. Whiteland gave Mooresville their first loss of the season, 12-8. Mooresville got their revenge the next game, winning 6-0. I interviewed head coach Tracy Ball.
Well, we were pretty competitive with everyone in our conference last year, so I'm thinking we should bring the same amount of talent and the same ability to win conference, hopefully. We're still going to have a lot of competition. Whiteland's always good. You've got Decatur Central, of course. Martinsville usually is very competitive. So I think we still are going to be up there at the top of the conference, with maybe a couple other schools, but I'm hoping that we're able to win it again this year. Honestly, I think we're going to be just as competitive as we were last year. We have a lot of returning players, and we have some new players that are coming up to the varsity level, and I think they're going to just add even more power to our lineup. They're just as gifted. So I don't think, I think we're going to be just as good, hopefully, as we were last year.
Next up, we have Owen Dishman with Miss Tamburino to discuss the principles of biomedical science class.
I'm Owen Dishman with Pioneer TV, and I'm here to give you an overview of the principles of biomedical science class with Miss Tamburino.
Alright, my name is Miss Tamburino. This is my second year at Mooresville High School, my 5th year teaching overall. I coach cross country, and I teach earth space and PLTW biomedical science. In PLTW, Biomed, Principles of Biomed, or we call PBS, it's the first class in a series of 3 for our Biomed pathway. In Principles of Biomed, there are a total of 4 units. The first unit, we investigate a potential murder. So we have a decedent that we are investigating. We do an autopsy on her. We do a criminal investigation. We run DNA testing. And then we move on to Unit 2, where we take on the role of a primary care physician, and we visit a series of different patients throughout the day, trying to figure out diagnoses or how to help them. We practice taking vital signs, running physical assessments on our patients, and so on. Unit 3, we try to determine the cause of an epidemic or an outbreak of a disease that is occurring within a hospital. So we go through the steps of trying to figure out what's going on with that. And then Unit 4 is more like innovation in the biomedical sciences, so using different technologies to help patients. So you should definitely have taken biology. That's a prerequisite for this class. Usually with the PLTW classes, they also recommend that you take another science class at the same time. So good classes to take would be chemistry, ICP, AP biology class, really any other science class while you are also taking this simultaneously.
And now Tamburino will explain the qualities that biomed students are expected to have.
So in biomed, in general, in the field, we want students and we want people who are going to be open-minded, who are going to be open to learning new things and working with different types of people. We want the people who are willing to collaborate, because science is very collaborative, so we do a lot of working with a partner or in a group.
To end off, Ms. Tamburino decided to share with us one of her favorite activities in Principles of Biomed.
So in Unit 1, when we're investigating this potential murder or the death of this college student, we run gel electrophoresis tests to do DNA testing. We also do a heart dissection to see if there's anything going on with her heart. So we first dissect a sheep heart to look at what the regular structures are and to understand how the heart works, and then we go on to studying different types of hearts to see like what could go wrong with a heart. So we look at hearts that have like a blockage here or a hole in the side of the wall in their heart or something, and then we talk about what would that that would lead to in that person, so what kind of condition that would be.
If you or someone you know is interested in taking Principles of Biomedical Science, please see a guidance counselor for details regarding the class and pathway associated with it.
If you're interested in taking biomed, please see your guidance counselor.
Have you ever wondered what the GSA is or what they do? Dylan Chestnut went to the most recent meeting to find out.
Hello, I'm interviewing Mrs. Kamaka and Mrs. Berger about the GSA. What are some of the activities that the club does?
So we often start our meetings doing like roses and thorns, so the kids can share out like a positive that's going on in their lives, they can celebrate each other's successes, and it gives them a chance to support each other if there's something kind of hard or challenging going on that they want some support for. We also invite teachers to come in so that they can ask the kids questions and give the kids a chance to kind of share their experiences being a student here at Mooresville. And we also just do fun stuff. They come in and play games, sing karaoke, they celebrate holidays together, just a place for them to have a safe place to hang out with their friends.
Since Berger and I have started sponsoring it, we've been really lucky with the kids we've gotten, and some real leaders have stepped up. So they've been able to recruit a lot more members to the group, and because of that, they've been able to create a really safe and positive space, and we've seen a lot of the kids really grow and blossom and find themselves and find best friends as well. To make people feel included, we actually have a specific officer for that exact purpose. This person, Spike, is called the Welcome Wagon. That's their officer title, and their job is to welcome new people to the group and recruit new people and make them feel welcome and help them find their new best friends.
I asked a couple of members what they wanted to tell other people about the GSA.
GSA is like a really good, just safe space for any LGBTQ people or in general straight people or allies. It helps a lot just in general on like maybe you want to know about GSA or what is GSA and you want to know what you can do just in general. Just come to into GSA like, oh, cool.
That it's not just for gay people. It's an all-inclusive type of club. We do activities all the time, things to just make you feel better about day-to-day stress of school and stress of drama. There's always somebody there for you, especially in the club. Miss Gamaka and Miss Berger, they're always there for us, and not to mention literally every single person in there is all friends, and we're always welcome to new people.
GSA is not just for the LGBTQ community students. It's for everybody, and we really try to push that out there and support that because I don't want anybody to feel left out.
Thanks to Mrs. Kamaka, Mrs. Borger, and the members of the GSA for taking the time to let me interview them. Now back to the studio.
For our next story, Jesse Hartwell has the recent news on the local game store White Flag Games.
White Flag Games started in August 2014 and is located next to Dong's China Buffet down Indiana Street. The local shop is owned by Joe McNeil, Scott Andrews, and Dakota McMurray. The shop itself carries board games as well as popular trading card games such as Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, and Digimon. They carry minifigures and even books used for popular role-playing games like D&D and Warhammer. Finally, they have all the essential necessities for protecting all the games customers buy, such as deck boxes, card sleeves, card binders, playmats, playmat tubes, and many more. I was able to get an interview with Matt Robinson, who's an employee at White Flag Games. What is the work experience like here?
The work experience here is actually really good. I get to come in, I get to see a lot of smiling faces. I get to enjoy the people around me and a positive attitude.
How is the community that frequents the store?
The community around here is actually pretty good as well. We don't really have a lot of problems with drugs or anything like that. It's more of a place where families can come in, hang out. A lot of people that are good around kids and just good people in general.
What are your thoughts on the new store expansion?
I'm actually really excited for the new expansion. We still have a lot of progress to be made before it's done, but once it is finished, I think it's going to be good for us and it's going to be good for the community.
Currently, the local store is expanding its size by more than double. I was able to get an interview with Dakota McMurray on what that expansion will be used for in the future. What is the plan for the new store expansion?
The new plan for the expansion is to have a cafe going on, as well as having more play space for our customers and for people that just come here on a regular basis.
When will the cafe be open?
That is to be determined right now. We are having some issues with getting some stuff installed, but we're shooting for March.
How does the whole operation work in the cafe?
So what's going to happen is you're going to submit an order, pay for it, pretty much like how you would at any other restaurant, and then we're going to have it delivery style, and so when it's ready to go, we'll be able to deliver it right out to you.
What's going to be on the menu for the customers?
We're going to be doing sandwiches and finger foods such as like mozzarella sticks, chicken fingers, french fries, stuff like that. We're going to have sandwiches, our deli meat sandwiches. We are still going to have our concession snacks, you know, the candy bars, the bags of chips, as well as a variety of drinks.
What hours will the cafe be open throughout the week?
Throughout the week, we are looking to be Tuesday through Saturday from, I want to say pretty much from open to close, except on Fridays. I think it won't open up until 4 o'clock.
So if you're looking for a place to play board games and card games with your friends and family while enjoying some delicious food, support your local business and visit White Flag Games.
Up next, Bailey Kelso has an update on the Mooresville Schools COVID-19 protocols.
Hello Mooresville Pioneers, this is Bailey Kelso. Today I'm discussing new COVID protocols that were put into place on February 23rd. The Indiana Department of Health announced that contact tracing for Indiana K-12 schools came to an end. We have been dealing with COVID-19 contact tracing for almost 2 full years at this point, so this is a huge change for MHS. I reached out to Ms. Young, who worked on contact tracing each day for the high school, and she said that she spent a large amount of her day entering information from a lengthy list of absences due to contact tracing. So what does the end of contact tracing mean for all of us? Well, first, you'll see more kids at school. It has been a long time since we have had full classes and freedom to sit wherever we want in the cafeteria. Second, the end of contact tracing means we have an important responsibility to communicate with our close contacts if we have COVID symptoms so they can monitor themselves and not expose others. Let's all continue to wash our hands and be safe around others so we can keep moving in the right direction. I'm Bailey Kelso for More News.
Have you ever wondered how More News is made? Here's a video by Xander Marine from concept to creation with More News.
You're watching a student-produced newscast as part of the radio TV pathway at Mooresville High School.
Storytelling has conflicts or problems, and they have their beginnings, they have their turning points, and their conclusions, resolutions. And so when it comes to More News, we are looking for the stories that are out there. They're already been, they either already happened or they're in the middle of that conflict, and we get to help tell that story as it's unfolding. But for the most part, we know that how it has resolved. It's our job to find those stories and to share them with our viewers, because they don't know what's going on in high school. Community members or even students within the school may be unaware of some of these stories that are happening. And so it's exciting for us to be able to discover them, understand them, and then share them with our viewers so that they understand the stories too, and they're better off with it.
More News, we use ProPresenter, which uses all our graphics and videos. We can fire it. We also use an Atom Mini Extreme during that. And then we have some Ethernet systems for HDMI cameras. that we pull into our switcher, and then we go live on production track.
Well, first thing that we consider is what around the school is kind of going on and what are the big events that are going on that we think that the whole community should know about, or the people listening to more news. And so based on that, we kind of assign different people to different projects, and sometimes they'll think of projects that they think should be told, and then we'll go over that. Or it's like big sporting events that'll be either coming up or have happened that, you know, really had a big impact on the season, or like new coach hires and stuff. And so we kind of look at that, and then they make the content, and we'll go through about a 4-week cycle of them making the content. We'll have the producer look at it, he looks at it, he suggests edits. We do peer reviews where peers suggest edits and what to make it better, and then it goes through the different directors and then the executive director, and then it officially goes on to more news, where we put it in for either our news cast or our sports cast based on the content of the video.
To join the Radio TV Pathway courses, contact the guidance office at 317-831-9203 or visit mooresvilleschools.org.
Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow our Instagram and Facebook to support Pioneer TV, and keep up with our short films and podcasts.
That's all for More News this week. I was your co-host, Will Comer.
And I was your host, Alex Johnson. Tune in April 4th for the next More News.